Hey everyone, how's it going? Mike here in Newport Beach, sunny but chilly California this morning. Getting ready for our 30-minute breathe with you guys. I hope you are feeling great. 30 minutes can be daunting sometimes to pick up that handle. It's one of the things I love about rowing. You take hold of that handle and you are locked in for the next 30 minutes. We're going to throw some breaks in there. We're going to break this work up into 3 distinct parts to help us get through. But before we get into all that detail, let's take a look at the numbers on your screen, bottom left-hand corner. /500M, it's your pace or your split. The lower it's going, the faster you are going. And you can do that with more effort as you drive that handle right here at the screen to your body back here. Also down there, S/M, strokes per minute. Let's kick off our workout here. Ooh, where am I? I'm in Newport Beach. We're coming up on an 8 just off my right hand side. We are going to lock it in at 22. Right at the start of a 30 minutes, a journey, a 30-minute row. We're going to break it up into 3 distinct sections. First one is a pyramid with 3 minutes at 22, 3 minutes at 24, 3 minutes at 22. And then we'll have 1 minute where we can have an optional break. It's a really good idea in these longer rows. Second block will be similar. It'll be a pyramid, it'll be an inverse pyramid, so rhythm will go down in the middle, and finally a climb for the last 10 minutes where we'll climb up through the rhythms from 18 up to 24. Okay, loads of information there. It's the reason I'm here. I'm gonna help lead us through this workout. Let's lock it into 22. Here's our goal for the first 10 minutes. Consistent split. So I want you to feel really good. Put it on like a 2 or 3 out of 5. I want you to be able to hold on to this split for the next 10 minutes. So give yourself a little grace, give yourself a little room, give yourself a little bit of something to work with. I want you to keep that pace nice and steady. So don't go off too hard. We've got a full 30 minutes of rowing here. Awesome job. Okay, there's our 22. Let's lock it in right there. Nice. I think sometimes when you look at a longer row, and I do call 30 minutes a longer row, I think when you look at them sometimes, you can sort of get going and you can be in those first few minutes as we are now, just setting it up, setting this journey up, and you can think to yourself, is this thing ever going to end? It's a long way away, and it just reminds me of so much. So many things we do that can feel that way. Can feel like, where is the end? But the one thing that is guaranteed is there is an end. There's an end to everything, and that's good and bad. Today, we're going to enjoy the journey and just let that end come towards us. Let's just enjoy taking every one of these strokes, just knowing that that end will come. We're coming up on our first 3 minutes right there. Let's bump up to 24. Nice. Good. It's the summer holidays phenomenon, really, isn't it? It'll never end. Remember as you're a kid, I was thinking those summer holidays will never end. It's that phenomena. You look at it and think, whew, it's going to go on forever. Up at 24 now, holding that split. Remember, our goal for this first 10 minutes, equal split. Hold it the same all the way through. At 24, we're taking more strokes per minute. It's going to feel a little easier to hold that same number. Good. Nice and relaxed. I think as we're warming up here, as we're getting ready. Our body and mind is so focusing in now. We're a few minutes in. Great time for our little technique tips. What we're going to focus on today is kind of one of the things I love about rowing. Yeah, there's the physicality of it, but in amongst that, kind of peppered in there, is the technique. And we're going to be going for our 3 gaps today. If you've rowed with me before, you may have heard me talk about this. It's super important to get that position. Put yourself in your best position to be able to row efficiently and powerfully. So, plenty of time today. What am I talking about, the 3 gaps? Well, a little overview, here they are. 1 gap is between your heels and your seat. That's gap 1. That one's to be big. 2nd gap is between your core or stomach and your upper thighs. And that gap right here is to be no gap. And the 3rd gap is chest to thighs. And again, we want a gap there. Got a perfect angle with the camera right now to see some of those gaps. Helen is doing a wicked job. That side shot, you can start to look at those gaps. Big gap, heels to seat, no gap, stomach to thighs, gap, chest to the upper thigh. Okay, nice. Stay right there. Coming up on our second 3 minutes. Drop it back down to 22. This is our first pyramid. Nice. You're gonna have to drive a little harder here to hold that split. That's why we want to keep a little room to maneuver. Not going off too hard. Good. All right. Perfect day. We're getting in some meters. I know we've got some big meter rowers on the board today. Up with million meter club and even 110 million meter club. We're adding to it today, stroke at a time. I want to stay right there at 22. As we get to 9 minutes into this workout, and we have that consistent effort, I want to throw an optional break in. Now, if you're feeling like, yep, I row 30 minutes all the time, this is fine. You can keep rowing at 22. However, and I recommend it, if 30 minutes is newer to you, or even if it's not, even if you do this regularly, we're going to take a minute where you can have a break. I want you to try and stand up, jump off the hydro for a few seconds, stretch your back out, put yourself in a different position, and then we'll get back to it. Okay. Right there. Just locking in that nice rhythm right now. And we'll get there. Hold those 3 gaps. Let's go over those quickly. Let's focus on number 1, which is the gap. It's the one that I see the most. If you watch somebody row, they're gonna go anyway. They're gonna close that gap up too much. If that's the bottom to the heels, they're gonna close that up way too much and put yourself in this weak position. So put yourself in a powerful position. The first movement to start that stroke is just dialed in, focused, and it's full of power. And to do that, you have to leave a gap. If you're too close, you just can't produce any power there. 15 more seconds. Stay there. On that 22. Now, here's our choice. If you want to keep ticking along at 22, you can do that. If like me, You're going to take a little break. We're going to come right down here, Andrea. Take that power off. And we can take a stop there. Oh, hello. Where are we going? In fact, if you guys want to stand up at this moment, if you want to keep rowing, just keep that pace nice and light, like a 1 out of 5. If you want to take a break right now, take a little drink, stand up off your hydro, stretch your back out. Perfect time to do it. And when you're ready, grab hold of that handle and just start moving slowly with me. We're going to pick it back up at 20 for our second pyramid. It's an inverse pyramid. It's an inverse pyramid, meaning we're going to be 24, drop down to 22 for that middle 3 minutes, back up to 24, same concept. It's the same split all the way through. Back on the hydro. Back on the pressure. Bring it up to a 2 or 3. How do you feel right now? I love it when you take a little break and come back into it. You can focus, refocus your energy, refocus your technique, and you get a couple of minutes of really dynamic rowing. You're feeling that right now? And that's why I think the minute break is totally fine. I guess the question is, does it take away from my workout? I don't think so. When we were rowing, when we were training on a 2,000 meter rowing course. It was called Home Pier Pond in Nottingham, England. It's where the national team were based for many years. And because it's only 2,000 meters, yeah, every 10 minutes we would take a break, because you had to. You had to spin your boat round, and it would take about a minute to spin a boat. And it just gives you that second to refocus on that 24 there. Allow you to move your body in slightly different ways, and you come back feeling really good and able to keep dialed in on what you're trying to do right here. How's that first gap going? Keep that gap between your bum and heels. Nice. Just ticking over. 24s here. We're going to get to 17 minutes. Little stereophonics for us. Dakota. What a tune. Nice. All right. Things that last forever, but don't really. They feel like they are. I can tell you one. If you are a parent of young kids, and I don't mean young like my kids, I mean really young kids, sleepless nights. And if you're not a parent, and you hope to be one day, listen up. It doesn't last forever. In the moment, it feels like there's nothing else but sleepless nights. If you're going through that right now, know it will end. They will sleep at some point, but for now, you have to dig in and get through it. Like this workout, 17 minutes on the clock, down 2, consistent. We're going to 22 for the next 3 minutes. Good. Rhythm's gone down, trying to keep the split the same, increase your effort on the drive, just slightly. Nice. I remember that. I remember a point when my kids, Luke and Eva, were really small, and I remember every single night Eva would be up for years, and you know that sleep deprivation and that feeling like, okay, this is my life now, I just don't sleep. I remember thinking, in your delirious state, I remember thinking as I was lying in bed, if I even think of Eva's name, she'll wake up. I'm sure it wasn't actually happening, but in my head, if I would even think of a name ever, there she'd go. She'd be up crying, screaming. And I remember just lying in bed, just trying to think of anything but her name. Yeah, you get a little crazy sometimes. That's all right. Stay on that 22. Minute and a half to go right here. And we get to bump it back up to 24. And it'll feel a little easier, getting those extra 2 strokes per minute. Let's look at our second gap. That's stomach to thighs. No gap. It's a trick. It's a trick gap. 0 gap. Again, Andrea and Kellen dialing in the shot here from the side. And you can see as I come into that catch or the front end of the stroke, the gap between my stomach and thighs is closed right up. I try and hold it like that as long as I can. Just getting that good compression in the right place. Nice.